What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ghosts in the Night, a hauntings and paranormal podcast. I'm Phil Sam. Thank you so very much for stopping in and checking us out. And if it's your first time, thank you for checking it out. Hope you enjoyed. If you have been listening to this podcast for a while, I truly appreciate your support and the fact that you listen. So today we are going to have a little bit of fun. Today we're going to talk about the movement here lately of storming Area 51. That's going to be most of the podcast, and also we might get into a little bit of the show Ghost of Morgan City. They had a very interesting episode the last episode that I want to talk about and give my opinion on and kind of open up the discussion about it. So stick around.
Ghost in the Night with Phil Sams.
Alright, so Area 51. Now, everybody knows what Area 51 is. It is recognized now as alien or UFO hunting capital of the United States, which is very interesting, for lack of a better term, because let's face it, as soon as they acknowledged its existence, they probably, whatever was there, they took it away or moved it somewhere else. So this concept of storming Area 51, where, they're trying to get a movement to get, I've seen reports of 600,000 UFO hunters to storm the gates and just run on in there and try to force them to show them the alien bodies and spaceships. Okay, you can do that. Waste of time. They're probably not there. And it's a waste of time for several reasons. First, probably nothing's there anymore. It's probably just a mere testing facility for top secret aircraft, like, the stealth bomber was developed there. The B-2 was developed there. That's pretty much probably all it is. They've probably moved the really funky stuff somewhere else by now. It's probably just a cover or a front. They want you talking about that so you don't know if we do have it. I'm not saying we do, but if we do have it, it's probably somewhere else at this particular time. First of all, I want and hope that this is really just some teenagers or somebody just having a little fun, had a few cocktails, got a little drunk, said, let's start this and see where it goes and see if it takes off. And it has, because, I heard first about it last week on a podcast. And, but if I was willing to bet, that is exactly what it is and what's going on here. The people who are organizing this probably don't even think it's going to happen. They were just having a little fun. Now let's get into basically what will happen if you do. Fun fact, I saw and retweeted a article, I guess for lack of a better word, from, I believe it was Yahoo News. And basically, let me read the title. Storm Area 51. U.S. military ready to confront 600,000 alien hunters threatening to raid top secret base. Everybody's watched YouTube, and I'm sure if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably seen a few videos on Area 51 and seen some of the signs or seen a documentary and where you will be shot on sight. And you've seen the white trucks with guards in it. Now, it's a top secret base, and they're trying to deter people from coming. So, now, would they shoot on sight? I don't know. I mean, in today, I would say 20 years ago, yeah. 600,000 people try to storm the gates. Probably you're going to have you're going to need 600 body bags. But in today's climate, it'd probably be more hassle than what it's worth. So, if they're going to do this, which I'm not sure they are, and if they do, they're idiots, but I'm sure the government's taking steps. Like I said, probably nothing's there anyway. And if you think those guard shacks are the front line of defense, that's just a building. The real defense of the base is, the deeper you get in, the tighter the security is going to be. So getting past the guard shack, or the entrance, the main entrance, which Funny thing is, they're saying they're going to storm the gates and run to Area 51. I hate to be the one to tell them this. That's not the most easiest terrain to navigate. If you've seen pictures of it, if you've seen videos, and it's a long ass way. It's not like a guard shack in a parking lot. You go, walk past the guard shack and there's a building. No, you're going to have to travel miles. So you're going to be running for miles to get there. And there's definitely, you're going to be going over some very rough terrain and meeting resistance. Now, will they shoot you? I don't know. I think it'd make for a great story, but probably the government won't want to deal with the backlash of actually shooting people and the lawsuits it'll cost them billions of dollars. So why bother? Odds are nothing's there anyway, and it's just a waste of time. Now, in this article that I retweeted, there's a quote saying, "Storm Area 51, they can't stop all of us." Probably true, but they could really make it difficult, and they could stop a few. Bullets start flying. Guess what? People are going to scatter. It's all fun and games till lead starts flying by your head. But there was a real quote where, let me see if I can find it. Basically, they want to run past the gates and run up to the building. Okay, let's, for sake of argument, you run past that gate. You got miles to go. You're going to be tired. If you're doing it on the hop, you're going to be tired by the time you get there. And do you think they just have these ships sitting out on runways with tarps over them, maybe washing them? No. They're tucked away inside the mountain, or they're tucked away in the hangars. And I'm sure these hangars have state-of-the-art security or doors. You're just not going to open the door. You're never going to get in. You're never going to get in to see never going to get in to see anything. So what's the point? Now that doesn't even account for what security measures they have between point A and point B. So do you think that guard shack and those white trucks are the only security they have? It wouldn't surprise me one bit if they had shit in the ground that'll pop up and pump some lead in your ass. But the quote that I want to get to is, I'm not trying to find it here, but that's okay. I remember it. I'm going from memory here, so don't quote me exactly. But the gist of it is, he said, "We can run faster than them bullets." Now, that is an asinine comment. I mean, I understand what he was going for, but just to say it, basically he was saying that they can't shoot everybody. Yes, but like I said earlier, as soon as if the bullets do start flying, then your plane's getting shot because most of those people will turn and run tail. So why even waste your time doing it? I firmly believe that there are people taking this shit very seriously. And if the person who quoted this actually believes this shit, they should run through it. Hope they're ready for what they get. If they don't get shot, just the jail time and fines will kill you. You'd probably be better off to get shot. All they have to do is round up a couple of you. I mean, it's not like they have to get all 600,000 of you. They can probably get a vast majority of you, especially if you're going to try to get into a building. It's a funnel. You're going to get into a building. Boom, you're caught. So is it really worth it I mean, it's a fun little prank if that's what it is, which I hope it is, but you're never going to get anywhere close to it. I don't care if you have 2 million people. And if you do, well, I shouldn't say that. You probably, could be some people get close to it, but they're not going to get anything. They're not going to learn anything. The only thing they're going to get is handcuffs or get detained for a while, and who knows what else. I mean, so it's a fun little social media or viral concept, but it's not going to work. First and foremost, if you're going to plan something like this, you might actually have a chance if you would, I don't know, not advertise it. Word of mouth works wonders. But, let's put it on social media and alert the government that they're going to do this, and to where the government actually responds to it. Then probably not a good idea. We're gearing up for it. So how stupid can you be? And how stupid is the public? This is obviously probably just a prank, and it's went viral, and people are taking it seriously. So I guarantee there will be some morons that will actually gather and actually probably give it a shot. It's going to be funny. It's going to be hilarious. I will be giddy with I'll be laughing so hard. So, I don't know. If you're planning on going, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. gitnpodcast@gmail.com or send me a message on Twitter at night_ghost. I would love to hear your opinion on it. I've got some interesting responses so far on what I've posted on it and just my general talking about it to other people. It'll be interesting. I hope they do it. I hope it's real because I'd love to see the look on their face because I bet my bottom dollar there ain't shit there. They've moved it if there was anything there, in which the bonus episode talked about. Bob Lazar did say there was stuff there, in which I covered that on a bonus episode, which I just released. It. If you're a patron of the Patreon account, you got an early access to that bonus video. So if you want to support the podcast, head on over to Patreon and join up. $2 will get you early access to any kind of bonus videos that I do, which I do try to do once or twice a month. And you also get completely ad-free version of the weekly podcast. So if you want to support the podcast, head on over to Patreon and /GITM podcast, and you can donate that way and get some bonus content. Next, I want to talk about Ghost of Morgan City. Now, this is a new show that comes on the Paranormal Network known as Travel Channel, because that is pretty much all they freaking do anymore. And this is basically technically, it's a new series, but it's a spinoff, for lack of a better word, of Ghost of Shepherdtown, I think it was, last season. Now, I really want to talk about the very last episode. I believe it was episode 3. It was called Shirt of Idlewild. Now, basically, this was a plantation house they went to, and I will get into that. They had a very interesting piece of evidence they came across, and that is really what I wanted to talk about. But let me just kind of go over a little bit about this show. The main character, there's naturally 3 people on the show. Psychic medium, as always, because you must have one of those. The lead investigator, I guess that's what he is Ben Hansen, who you might recognize him. I believe he was a former FBI agent, but also, or worked for the government. I think it was FBI. But also, he was on Fact or Fake Paranormal Files, which was a complete horseshit show, and, well, it sucked. Let's be honest. It was horrible. It made Dead Files look like an Emmy winner. So, that is what they're going with, and they have another paranormal investigator. 3 people, good number for a team. I like it. Keeping with the standard size group of reality paranormal shows. But so this show basically is just them in one parish of Louisiana. They are working with the local sheriff's department or the sheriff's police departments in that area and treating it like an investigation. They're getting calls of, I believe in this episode they even played. I have not seen them all. I've seen maybe the first one and this one. So, but it seems like, they started this episode out with them playing a dispatch call of an intruder or a burglar or whatever with no head. So that tells you right there what they're doing. And they're pandering to the masses who eat this shit up like candy. So basically, this home was used as a hospital in the Civil War, but then through the episode, they found out that it was used during the yellow fever epidemic, 1905-ish time frame. And through their investigation, they found out they claim that there's a nurse that is still there trying to help people through this, do things, stealing jewelry. Now, one portion of the show, Hanson gets his jewel or necklace broken, which, you know, shit happens. Now, yes, how it was edited, you didn't see him get snagged on anything. It just looked like 1 minute it was there, and next minute he said, "Oh, my necklace is broke." Okay, whatever, maybe. But then, they're doing an EVP session, and here's where it gets interesting. He goes to, and this is what cracks me up, to an RV, and they call it the Ghost Coach, which, a little tacky. I mean, come on. Travel Channel. You can do better than that. So, and next thing you know, before they go to, naturally, they do it with a commercial break cut where something big starts happening, and then they go to commercial, come back, and he's there watching the monitor. And apparently, while he was reviewing the EVPs, he was watching the monitors as well. And next thing you know, an apparition walks through a door frame, or not through a door frame, but from one end of they're looking through a door. The camera's pointed and looking in a room, and there's a doorway, and something walks by. And I'll give them credit. If this is legitimate, then it is a phenomenal piece of evidence. But notice I said the word if it's legitimate. I don't know if we can buy it because it's TV. The name of the game is to get people to watch the show, and so producers, directors, showrunners, they will play fast and loose with the rules, and they're not above faking it. I will say the reaction of the cast was good. I mean, if it was fake and they knew it was fake, then they deserve Emmys for that shit because they looked legitimately surprised, excited. Things started popping. You could tell that it was great acting if they knew about it. And they talk about how it is translucent, which when I watched it, didn't really look translucent. It looked more, how can I say this, blurry. I mean, but they did do their due diligence. They sent somebody in to try to replicate it. I applaud them for that, but I'm just so skeptical. It's not even skeptical. If you've listened to me, you know that I talk about you have to be or approach the paranormal or any kind of investigations of this type with a skeptical mindset. That's fine. That keeps your mind open. It keeps you sharp. But when it comes to these reality shows, and that's what they are, I'm going to say you need to be more cynical, or at least I am more cynical because you can't take it at face value. Now, the little people I haven't really looked, I'm sure was blowing up, talking about what a great piece of evidence. But the thing is, there are so many of these shows now, they're going to have to start one-upping each other. And it seems like it's kind of starting to happen. For them to stay relevant, they have to keep up with Ghost Adventures. They had an episode not too long, last week or 2 weeks ago, where they had a really good piece of evidence. So they know they have to up the game. And for them to make the cut, they might cheat a little bit. And I've always taken the stance when it comes to evidence like that. I wasn't there, so I can't confirm or deny. Now, if I was there and saw that and was part of the recreation of it, that kind of evidence or that kind of footage, okay, I might be a little, then I could say for sure, yeah. I mean, I hope it's real. I mean, but when it comes to these paranormal shows, it's just, it's hit or miss. I mean, but this show it's freaking horrible, honestly. I mean, I'm not a fan of it. It's not that good. It almost seems like they're trying too hard. They're in Louisiana and they're talking about, they're playing up the voodoo thing, and they keep saying, well, there's voodoo practice on here. No shit, it's Louisiana. Everybody knows that you're not enlightening us or you're not breaking any news stories there. We know that shit goes on in Louisiana. So it's just a horrible show. I mean, I don't even like the premise that much. One area cannot have that much activity. So it's, but I'm sure people watch it and some people are going to eat it up. So more power to them. But don't come to me on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever and talk about the great paranormal evidence that they collect. Because odds are, if I was a bed man and I had to bet the mortgage on it, it's horseshit. I could be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, but I'm just not going to go out on that limb. I mean, they're trying to get people to watch because they want advertisers. They want to stick around for another season. That's more money in their pocket. And when there's money involved, shit gets, the rules kind of go out the window a little bit. So that is really what I have to say. If you want to comment and light me up because you love the show, by all means, feel free. You can leave a comment on the show note page at ghostofnightpodcast.com or on Twitter. My handle is at night_ghost. And light me up if you want, or if you agree with me, let me know. Don't forget, we do have paranormal merchandise on Spreadshirt. It's GITM Podcast is the Spreadshirt shop name, or you can go to ghostofnightpodcast.com and there's a link there. You'll see a shirt on the main homepage and just click on it. It'll take you to our vast selection of merchandise. That's always an option if you want to support the show. Or like I said earlier, we do have the Patreon account at GITM Podcast, patreon.com/GTIM Podcast. Also, however you listen to this podcast, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to give us a review if you so desire, good or bad. If you have a question, be sure to reach out to me in any one of those ways, and I will get with you. In upcoming episodes, I'm going to do another kind of series of episodes because the topic I want to address is about dimensions and the multiverse or simulation theory, that kind of stuff, and what role that plays with the paranormal. Because if you listened to episode 1, I kind of laid it out and explained, hey, I'm not even 100% sure these ghostly encounters or this paranormal activity that these ghost hunting teams or that I have had when I've been on investigations are truly about the spirit world. There is a possibility that it could just be a dimensional thing and we're kind of getting a bleed off or a window into or hearing things crossing over, and that's really what the activity is. It's not really the spirit world. It's not your dead grandma or past relatives coming back to watch over you, or a spirit haunting a building or a church or an opera house, which seems to be the case in most scenarios. So, I don't know, but I want to dive into this topic. I think I got a guest scheduled, and we're going to go from there and see what that brings. What else do we have? I don't know. I think that's it. Just remember that I appreciate you listening to this podcast. Feel free to reach out to me and let me know that you do like it and do enjoy it. We do have, like I said, the Patreon account, but I also do post videos on YouTube, so subscribe to the YouTube channel as another way to get some extra content. I do investigations, and I have some coming up here in the near future that I'm going to go on, and I record a lot of footage and record a lot. Oh, and that reminds me, I want to get to this. If you've listened, you've probably heard my last couple podcasts where I did an interview with Reverend Connell, who is a demonologist and exorcist. When I edited that interview or that conversation, I found some weird shit on it, honestly, and I couldn't make it out now. Naturally, I cut it out of the podcast, so if you listen to those episodes, it's not in there. But I have been in contact with him. I've isolated these, for lack of a better term, they're EVPs. There appears to be somebody else on the line with us. But I isolated them and I sent those out to a friend of mine, and he's looking at them, or listening to them, I should say. And as soon as he gets back with me, I'm going to get with Reverend Connell, and I will share that maybe next week or maybe in a bonus episode. I want to share that with you guys and talk about that, because that was kind of creepy. And with the subject matter that we were conversing about, I don't know. I mean, it's really fascinating because I don't know what it is, especially with what Reverend Connell does. I've always been aware of the fact that when I go on investigations, I could get attachments. Now, if you're dealing with the demon world, there's a chance you could get an attachment, or even more of a chance you could get an attachment than just me going to a supposedly haunted house. So I want to get those opinions. I want Reverend Connell to listen to it because I know his wife was there as well. And in what I'm going to send him and talk to him about, and what I sent to the other person, there, I did isolate one area where his wife was in the background. So as a control, and there was two other ones that I found essentially, or that I noticed that I caught. But one of them was a female voice, another female voice. So I can't rule out 100% that was her. But then I'm pretty sure there was another male voice. And when I contacted Reverend Connell, I did get confirmation that the only people in the home at that time was him and his wife. His daughter was not there. So it's interesting, and I will have that for you probably, like I said, next week. It's interesting. I'm really looking forward to talking to my buddy that I had listened to it and see what he has to say. He kind of sent me a message saying there's some weird stuff. He's hearing some weird stuff. He hasn't been able. He wanted to check it out a little bit more and go over it and find, see if he can clean it up a little bit more, and let me know what it was, or what his opinion of it is, or let me know what he thinks it is, or what it's saying. I mean, I can't make it out, but that is definitely to be on the lookout for that. So I think that's it for this week. I appreciate you listening, and if you have any questions, like I said, or you have a show idea, or you have an experience, just send me an email at gitmpodcast@gmail.com, and we will go from there. And if you have that experience, I might even have you on and let you share that experience. So until next week, take care, everybody.